here in Austin, and he had to hire a lawyer. He had to go to the VA for some additional training, and he had to pay fines, and he had a breathalyzer input in his car. The breathalyzer came along with the embarrassment of having to blow to it every time he started the car, but also he had to pay maintenance fees. So all said and done, it was about $12,000 he spent. That's how I came up to the figure of $12,000. Now, if on that fateful night my buddy would have taken Uber and Lyft if they were available back then, he may have gotten home safely, inexpensively, and he wouldn't be in the boat that he is now. All major cities and some small ones, like Fort Hood is not a large city, but it still has a large population. They should all use rideshare apps. The two of the main ones are Uber and Lyft. Today we're going to discuss why we should use them. My name is Edgar Sanchez. I personally use Uber or Lyft every single time I go out. Just like every adult in the room, I like to go out and have a good time. But being that we're in the military, you want to do it responsibly and safely. So I always take Uber, gets me home, or Lyft safe, fast, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the fact that rideshare apps like Uber and Lyft, they're inexpensive, a lot more inexpensive than a taxi cab. They're fast and reliable. They provide also other benefits like reducing the number of drunk drivers on the road and congestion. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's look at the first point. In my opinion, Uber and Lyft are both just as safe as any kind of public transportation. Now, it's not perfect, but what they do is they have a background check and process. So when you do apply to Uber or Lyft, you have to submit a background check, and they check for a few things. Any kind of violent criminal history, any kind of violent criminal history. They check for a bad driving record and any felony that you might have had in the past. So if you have any of these, you do not qualify to be an Uber or Lyft driver. Now, in the state of Texas, in Austin here, the city council even wants to implement a fingerprint background checks. That's going to be a more comprehensive check, and they'll find things that are going to be somewhat hidden that maybe a normal background check won't find. Well, all these background checks, along with the fact that everything on Uber and Lyft is tracked within your phone, it provides safety for both the driver and the passenger. Knowing that your phone is GPS tracked, and at all times, wherever you are on that app, they can find you, and your receipt will show where you got picked up from and dropped off from. That's another safety feature, even though it's not touted as one of the safety features. So in addition to safety, Uber and Lyft is pretty inexpensive. Take a taxi from my house to the airport, for example. When I travel with the military, they make us, because of budgeting constraints, take a plane, and we cannot leave our car at the airport for 2-3 weeks at a time. We take a taxi cab. A taxi from my house to Austin Burnstrom is about $72 one way. The same trip in an Uber or Lyft runs about $42 to $45, $48 without a tip. That's about $30 savings. So that's a lot more as far as inexpensive than a taxi cab. For me, $30 is quite a lot of money. So that's why I use Uber. Now, it's also faster. If, again, with the airport, if I were to order a taxi to take me to the airport, I got to order it the night before, or at least 3 hours ahead of time, because I got to get to the airport an hour and a half ahead of time. Now, with Uber, according to an Uber statistic, the average time to get picked up in downtown Austin is only 3 minutes. So from the time that you request Uber, according to Uber, the average time is 3 minutes. I can't even finish a speech in 3 minutes. So that's actually pretty quick. So now that you know how fast and expensive it is, let's look at some of the other benefits. Rideshare apps have been proven to lower the amount of drunk drivers on the road, or at least drunk driving arrests, maybe not the amount of drunk drivers. In a study from the Texas Department of Public Safety, DW arrests in Austin went down from 6,200 to 5,900 arrests from June 2013 to May 2014. So that's 300 total arrests in 1 year's time that Uber's been around. Those 300 total arrests, if you added up how many accidents they could have caused, I mean, that could have saved hundreds of lives right there alone. Another thing is that rideshare apps, especially in California, have been touted for helping the environment by reducing congestion. The way they do this is according to a report from the University of California at Berkeley in 2010, every rideshare vehicle in operation can reduce 9 to 13 actual vehicles from the road. Those 9 to 13 actual vehicles from the road reduce congestion and therefore helping the environment. So to sum up what we talked about, rideshare apps like Uber and Lyft are just as safe as taxis, if not safer. They're fast and economical, and they provide benefits like reducing drunk driving arrests and reducing congestion. Every big city should definitely use and promote rideshare apps. So to sum up, you remember the buddy I mentioned at the beginning of this? He was arrested. Some of y'all might even know what buddy I'm talking about. Well, he was extended a job offer to become AGR in the state of Texas. And due to that DWI arrest, his job offer was rescinded. So if he would not have gotten that arrest, he'd still have a job today. Thank you for being here.